What's going on, everybody? So you want a crypto? Man, today's a good day. It's nice outside. The birds are singing. The sun's out. Let's look at Celer Network. We're market cap right now $1.766 billion. Just for reference. Yeah, 5.6 cents. Down 6.7%. $221 million market cap, $126.5 million in the last 24 hours. Roughly 4 million of the 10 million are in circulation. Here's your address. And it's about 186 ranking on CoinGecko as of today. This thing has done quite well. Almost 4,000% in the last year. 175, 140, 80. And you can see it's just very recently done almost parabolic gains. That thing is just straight up. All right, you can get it on Binance at crypto.com. DYOR. Strong buy ranking. So what is Celer Network? It's the most advanced Layer 2 scaling platform. It's a Layer 2 scaling solution for payments and generalized off-chain smart contracts transactions. So you take your smart contracts, whatever they may be, generic conditional payments, multi-party gaming, auctions, token exchange, whatever. And then they want to do this quickly, cheaply, and securely. Allows mutually distrustful parties to exchange locally instead of globally on the blockchain, unless there's like a discrepancy, and then they go to the blockchain for it. They basically were developed for off-chain payments, but much more fast and interactive, low cost, novel cryptonomics, Celer SDK. This is their main website. See Polkadot, Chainlink, whatever. Celer. So what is Celer? They're, Layer 2 scaling platform solution. We'll dig a little deeper as we get in more and more. I'm not going to read all of this to you. There's a lot of links today. Everything is just Celer and, the Celer environment or whatever. So if you want to dig deeper, I guarantee every question that you want to know about Celer could probably be answered with one of the links that's in the description below. All right, let's move on. Here's the role. Okay, so here's the important part. Right now, scalability is expensive, and it's only, it's really limited. They're talking billions or even more transactions per second can be achieved as long as there are enough nodes and applications running on the off-chain platform. That's a lot. Let's look through their roadmaps. 2018's roadmap, 2019, and it's broken down. You can see the C channel, C route, COS, C economy, and community. All of this is completed. I'm just showing you for reference. Then that one rolls into this roadmap, 2019, 2020. Again, the state channel, the State Guardian Network, launch alpha testnet and make improvements on the essential features. Into 2020. Now here we are in 2021, which this is still March 6, 2020, but their roadmap, basically, they want to expand on a bunch of different networks and be cheap, easy to use. Okay, here we go, 2021. So Celer State Rollup solves key rollup research challenges and testnet launches on Ethereum. We'll go look at the Ethereum thing in a second. Here we go, 2021 roadmap. Continue to lead the Layer 2 solutions, complete phase State Guardian Network launch, and refined user interface and global staking partners. Implement generalized multi-hop cross-chain transactions functionality. Some Layer 2 roll-up space, and this improve their community and stuff like that. More links, and, information. So we will work towards enabling real-time and instant cross roll-up and roll-up to Layer 1 transactions with multi-hop capabilities. In addition, we will work towards support Layer 2 scaling on other blockchains that are gaining popularity, such as Polkadot. And you'll see they'll talk about Polkadot, Cosmos, Ethereum. They want to be the guy for everybody, They're going to be there for you. They're going to make it cheaper, easier. We're going to touch real quick. Let's look at CelerX Games. Transform your games to real money sports. They have the cash Clash Games and Solitaire, Dob Cash. But this bust a move, here's your team for CelerX Games, was one of the first ones to really get like a couple $1 million. I think it was like a $3 million payout in a month. So it's gaming for money. Let's see where we're at here. Celer Network, this is their Twitter. This was just a month ago. Layer2.Finance, access to DeFi for everyone. Get DeFi mass adoption today. Scaling Layer 1. What is Layer2.Finance? Well, when we get over here, this is the Ethereum. This is 2 days ago. Week in Ethereum news. They're talking about the Berlin upgrade fork is happening. Ropsten fork this week relatively uneventfully. EIP 2565, 2718, and so yeah, if you're into all this, here it is. But let's scroll down here to the Celer. Celer is a coherent layer 2 scaling platform on Ethereum powered by generalized state channel network and roll-up technology. Celer recently announced Layer2.Finance, a layer 2 roll-up based DeFi aggregator that acts as a low-cost and trust-free gateway for the user to explore and benefit from the existing DeFi ecosystem with 100x lower cost. So this is supposed to lower the cost, this partnership right here with Layer2.Finance, by 100x. Layer2.Finance achieves scalability in place with no protocol migration needed and therefore does not cause liquidity fragmentation or break composability. Layer2.Finance is launching in March. And actually, Layer2.Finance is launching in exactly 2 days, 2 hours, 54 minutes mark. So yeah, here's a little more information. Oops, yeah, this is the right one. Mass adoption today, scaling layer 1 DeFi in place with zero migration. And if you want to learn a little bit more, this is a good link. But they're talking about how little investors have a very hard time investing in a lot of stuff due to fees. If you invest, and we'll skip through most of this kind of stuff, but basically, let's say we forget about mom and pop, just focus on early majority of users, 25 to 40-year-olds who are tech savvy, financially literate, and earning above $30,000 in annual income. For this group of users, it would be reasonable to say that the allure of a 250x higher yield in their everyday savings would drive them to invest a few hundred or a few $1,000s into the market, right? But the problem is, and here's the examples, if Alice wants to do $600 in Coinbase, then she buys $100 worth of ETH to convert, for fees. Long story short, if you're only doing $600, it costs you a large percentage of your investment in fees to do any kind of altcoin trading, On the other hand, now here's Bella. She does $6 million. It's a fraction of a who cares, and she's going to make that back within hours or days. So nobody, do you see the difference? So what this is basically saying is this is discouraging small investors, the $30,000, 25 to 40-year-old tech-savvy folk, and it's encouraging these big guys because they're making a killing and it's not costing them anything. And, the little fish are not much competition for the big fish or anything like that. It's harder. The smaller you are, there's a larger barrier to entry. And this is the solution that they're looking for. And Layer2.Finance is looking to give them that in just over 2 days. So this is older, last year, adding hybrid proof-of-stake roll-up sidechain to Celer's coherent Layer 2 platform on Ethereum. If you want to walk down memory lane, it's a good link. And it talks about Layer 2 trade-offs between different, so state channel, which is what Celer is. Then you have a proof-of-stake sidechain, optimistic rollups. Let's see. And there's a picture right here. So here are your, well, let's get to that in just a second. But anyway, these are the trade-offs, worse, better. You can see where they are on a scale for each different things. If you want to compare the different technologies or whatever. Any question, though, you probably have on Celer. Here is basically their wiki, and it's got tons of information, more than we're going to talk about. It would bore everybody to death. Here's a little glimpse of the glossary, the table of contents. But some of the things that we will talk about is the overview of Celer channel. and I don't want to read all of this to you, but basically, Celer State Channel Network is a generic framework of state channels with deeply optimized on-chain contracts and off-chain messaging protocols. While the initial implementation is based on Ethereum, the core framework and protocols are designed to be flexible and blockchain agnostic. So it means they can work with whoever they want to, basically. Able to quickly be integrated with other Layer 1 blockchains with minimal effort. So that's good, right? And there's a thing, Layer 1s are very hard to change, upgrade, stuff like that, which is something to consider. Over here we have Celer Pay, Celer Apps, Celer Nodes, and here's a little visual diagram. So the Celer Pay contracts, A to B, B to C, C to D, along here. All of these are your nodes, the Celer nodes that are off-chain. Here is your Celer app contracts. This one is on-chain, these are off-chain. So we have on-chain function calls, we have off-chain function calls. Hopefully you can kind of get the picture. But if you want to dig in and read a little bit more on each of what those are, you can. So the platform interoperability, Celer Network aims to become a platform-independent Layer 2 scaling platform running across different Layer 1 blockchains that support smart contracts. Therefore, they design data structure and object interaction logic that works for different blockchains, frameworks, and programming languages. And a key design choice to serve this purpose is the use of protocol buffers or protobufs to represent all the core data structures. Here are the different ones that they use. They have 4: chain proto, entity proto, message proto, and app proto. If you're into that, you can dig in there. Okay, CelerX becomes first mobile esports platform blockchain to surpass $3 million in player winnings in 1 month. This is what we mentioned earlier. This was on Bust-A-Move, which is a collaboration with Tato, the Next Gaming Network, and CelerX. Another older article, but adding Celer Layer 2 scalability to Polkadot. Through this collaboration, Celer Network will build its advanced state channel technology as a palette and will consider using it as the foundation for a dedicated parachain, enabling nearly instantaneous, low-cost, and trust-free transactions. By utilizing the Substrate blockchain framework, Celer will be able to leverage flexible and high-performance blockchain constructs, enabling efficient optimizations that significantly lower operational costs, improve performance, and permit new functionality not previously possible. And if you want to know about Substrate blockchain framework, right here, Substrate Developer Hub, I'm going to show you that in just 1 second. But you can go through the rest of this. It talks about how to enhance flexibility, but where we want to get to is right here. Since all projects built with the Substrate can easily deploy their custom blockchain as a shard of the Polkadot network and would be able to leverage Celer's state channel technology, this will give an unprecedented opportunity for Celer Network to expand into different applications built on the Polkadot ecosystem. That's very bullish news. Substrate Developer Hub, blockchain development for innovators. Focus on your strengths. Yeah, whatever. You can read this on your own time. So you see this pretty picture right here with all the little lines. What we got right here is your relay chain. This is the one with the little white squares. And then each of these are your validators, the little things that look like rice or whatever. And then these are parachains. And then these are parathreads. They occupy one parachain slot, much like these do, with validators. And then they have like their own little relay validators. And then each of these, look at it like this is, each of these would be a building on a street. Except this building, instead of this company, occupying this building, each of these would be one company occupying a building. This building has 4 separate companies, and maybe they occupy, this guy has the first floor, these two share the second floor, and this one has the third floor. Something along those lines. This over here, maybe this one has the first 2 floors, and she has the second 2 floors. You see where I'm going with this. They have the same functionality, everything else as a chain does, the parathreads do, but they're pay for play, and the parathreads, the parachains are the ones that are auctioned off. There's going to be about 100 or so initially, and yeah, you get all that. We can talk about Polkadot later, but that's what you got going on right here. And Celer's going to be a pretty big part of making a lot of that layer 2 stuff go down. Okay, Binance launches Celer State Guardian Network node offering up to 37.5 annualized staking rewards. Binance joins Celer State Guardian Network. You can dig into this if you want, but here we go. So delegators, Celer holders, these are your Celer holders, stake, withdraw, claim. Your layer 1 Binance main chain, Celer, smart contracts layer 1 main chain. Staking reward / and governance, you can read all this. And then your validator layer 2 sidechain stuff, interfaces, users. The durations 15, 30, 60, 90 days. And then it looks like the minimum is 15 days, 50,000 Celer. And then it goes up to 500,000. And your highest rate is going to be on the lowest amount. So if you want to learn to become a validator or anything along those lines, here is the link to the Celer Network GitHub Validator Manual, and this should give you links to everything you need to know. That's probably more depth than the average viewer really wants to care about. Okay, so we got Celer cBridge, fast and low cost value transfer network for the interconnected layer 2 and layer 1 future. We see our optimistic rollups, Arbitrum, Optimism, we got Celer, we got Ethereum, we got Polkadot. Alright, so we are thrilled to introduce Celer cBridge, a multi-chain network that enables instant, low-cost, and any-to-any value transfers within and across Ethereum's Layer 2 chains, Ethereum main chain, and in the future, other Layer 1s and Layer 2s on top of those other Layer 1 chains. That's like I tell two friends, you tell two friends. Yeah. These systems include different Layer 1 blockchains such as Ethereum, Cosmos, and Polkadot, shards on those chains, and then different Layer 2 scaling solutions on top, such as the Optimistic Rollups, ZK Rollup, and side chains. You can watch this Celer Bridge demo, but I guarantee it'll put you to sleep. And here's how cBridge works. We're not going to dig too deep. Mostly we're just pointing out the interoperability here and the low cost, the fees, the Layer 2 solution. This is an older one back in 2019, October. Celer Network and Cocos BCX. And this was for gaming ecosystem stuff. Here are two more links that are links to a bunch of other links and articles and about anything you really need to know or want to know. Tons of information there. Okay. So you're probably here for a price prediction, you know. That's one of the reasons I would go. Here's tradingbeast.com just for some random, and you know, let's see what they got to say. And they're pretty conservative on their, they think it'll go maybe, you know, 10 or 15%, and within, you know, maybe my lifetime here, it looks like it might go up about 42%. You know, while that is bullish, you know, I think maybe we could probably do a little better than that. So we got a $221.5 million market cap, $126.5 million in 24-hour trading volume. So working this realistically, what do we think? Do we think this could hit $2 billion? If this could hit $2.2 billion, that's a 10x. To the price would be, what, about 56 cents. I think that that's a reasonable estimate in 1 to 3 years, depending on the market, how things go, how successful all of these, you know, they have a lot of stuff working, but they do have a little bit of optimism and hopium kind of on their roadmap, and I'm sure it'll all go well, but as those things go, the market will increase, right, the market cap. Yeah, I think 1 to 3 years, 50, 60 cents, that would be, it's not a prediction, this isn't financial advice, you know. If I had to rough guess it, you know, I think that that's reasonable. For what they got, what they're doing, they have a great community, very enthusiastic, very supportive. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So what do you think? Where do you think Celer is going to go? You think this is a 10x? I think it's a 10x. 1 to 3 years, 10x. And it's been doing freaking absolutely fantastic, as you can see down here. And even on top of all that, I think that there's probably a good 8 to 10 left in that. Maybe more, maybe less. And honestly, I think that I'm being conservative on my estimate. But what do you think? If you got value out of this, remember, like, subscribe. We'll try to make more coins a little more in depth, a little bit more. We'll work on our quality and content and stuff like that too. So, as always, have a great day. Hope your investments are doing really well for you, and you live in the dream, man. That's the key. Live in the dream. Cheers.